Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure. So last Sunday I went to the flea market down there in Fishkill, the intersection of Route 9 and Route 84. They have an outdoor market there, and particularly I have a friend who cleans out storage lockers, and they really get this interesting assortment of stuff, and they go through the trouble of putting it out so you can actually see it and pick through it, and you know, they're not like fussy about all the sockets have to stay together. They'll let you pick through and pick out all the good ones. So obviously I made use of that, and let me go through this. First of all, binding strap. This does not ratchet, it just binds. Black & Decker wood bits, flashlight, you know, LED, brush for cleaning pipe, flexible 1/4 inch. That's a vice grip. The mini Phillips head is a Craftsman made in the United States. Cover for outlet, you know. These screwdrivers, most of them are absolute junk, and every once in a while I'll find some that are halfway decent, that the bit is actually well put into the holder, so to speak. I believe this is an example of that, so threw that in. Back to the discussion on sockets. A lot of them are Craftsman, 8, 10, 12. That's an 8 Craftsman, 3/8 drive, you know, 6-point wire nuts, hose clamps, whatever this bent up clamp is, stapled, so to speak. This is just a bunch of hardware, and what it does is it's supposed to go on top of a ladder for stabilizing it, but it has some nice big U-clamps and so forth in there. Wing nuts, you could see all that junk. So I picked that up. Then there was this huge box of garage door stuff, and it was so this huge box, you can see that, and all those are those optical detectors, so that like if you walk in front of your garage door, if there's something in the way of the garage door, it stops the garage door from closing. And they come in match sets. They're actually taped together, and you could see the huge pile of them. Anyway, oh, and the gloves, I think that's all of it. Anyway, I gave her $30 for it. Oh, pad with the pen that was in here. There's adapters in here. You can see the chain drives. These things, I'm always looking at this kind of stuff when I have a project in mind. And for the golf cart that I put the TRX 200 SX motor on, I kind of rigged the brake up, and it really didn't work right. The cable kept sliding and stretching. So then I was looking at this chain, and I thought to myself, boy, I could just use this. It's garage door chain, but it's kind of the same as bicycle chain, it looks like. I mean, the pitch might be off, but I'm not going to put it on a bicycle. I'm just going to use it for the function of having the ability to pull. And I was thinking of that for the brakes instead of a brake cable. Anyway, everything I got from my friend who does the storage lockers, I gave her $30. And I got to figure just one set of these matched optical things are probably worth the $30, and my son needs a set for his garage door, so that's really handy. Next time I see him, I'll have to bring it down. So that was one deal. Another guy, gotcha gadgets, light sensor, motion sensor, door alarm. I gave him $3 for this. A lot of times during the winter, you know, you're kind of hanging out, not doing a lot. It's kind of fun to open this up and spend a few minutes. Then there were all these lights, you know, you kind of put them in your window. They run on D batteries, and they have two modes. One is continuously on, and the other mode is you turn it on, then it's on for 8 hours, and it turns itself off. Then it's off for 16 hours, and it turns itself back on for 8 hours. They hold D batteries. This one actually came with its batteries, and you could see. I was kind of hoping it flickered. It really doesn't. The other interesting thing is these bulbs unscrew, and they have LEDs in it. So it's a way of kind of like putting candles in your window, so to speak, and not, you know, burning your house down. So there are 9 of them, and I gave them $8 for them. And once again, that one obviously has batteries in it. Considering that there are only, you know, 3 LEDs that you're turning on, I mean, what are you looking at for power consumption? Something around 50 milliamps, if that much, 25 to 50 milliamps. I mean, I think a set of D batteries are supposed to last an entire winter season, right? You turn them on, you know, they come on every day at dusk, and they stay on for 8 hours, then turn themselves off. Kind of nice. And once again, with 9 of them, I can really set them up in all the windows. You guys know the front of my house, the Colonial, so you can kind of put one in each window, and once again run around at dusk and turn them on, and they'll be on for 8 hours. Then they'll turn themselves off. Kind of nice. Also, be nice to kind of have one in here. If it really turns itself on in 8 hours, have it so that when I come up here in the winter, you know, try to get here before it comes on, and try to stay up here working until after it turns off. So that's everything from the flea markets. Some of you guys like these flea market videos, and some of you don't. You know, the flea market is kind of like when you go fishing. You don't know what you're going to get, right? You could come home quite empty, quite honestly, with an empty tackle box, as in any fish that bit kind of stole one of your hooks and ran away, right? So you can end up with anything from it being just a loss to, you know, really scoring big. But if you don't get in the game, you don't know what you're going to find. Silly little sockets like that, you say, well, you know, just, you know, go out and buy a socket when you lose it. You know what? It's real easy when that socket gets lost, or it's real nice, especially 8s, 10s, half-inch. It's really nice to just be able to put your hot little hands on them, fill the set back up, and get right back to work. I typically only lose the ones that I use all the time, right? Most of the other ones I do not lose. These for drilling holes in wood, you know, up to 1 inch. You know, it's nice to have a set that steps up like that from half-inch, you know, 5/8, 3/4, and 1 inch. A lot of times these come in handy. When I cut in an extension cord, what I'll do is I'll put a splice box on it, if, you know, especially if it's cut or damaged in the center. So you'll come into one end, have an outlet, and come out the other. So it's handy for a splice box situation. Also, inside the house, when I run the generator, I have it set up that I put a generator on the back porch. One cord comes in, and the first box goes to the pellet stove. There's an extension that comes off of that goes one way, that goes to the pod of the TV sets in the living room. And frequently my wife likes to watch stuff that I don't like to watch, and vice versa. So there's another pod that goes off to where the other TV set is located. One of these is set up in that junction box. you guys know when you buy these, you end up parting with $1 or $2, right? So anyway, that's it for garage sale. And you know, hose clamps, whenever I find American made stuff, I just pick them up, because mostly when you go to buy them, you buy the China stuff, and quite honestly, the fit and finish and functionality just isn't as good. Anyway, that about covers it. I hope you guys enjoyed the flea market video. I want to thank you all for dropping by to watch and comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for more good activities. Bye now.